All right, so we are going to be calculating the speed and making a graph of your bottle rocket data. I want to remind you that you're going to be working on these data sets one at a time. You can start with whichever one you like best, but you're working on them one at a time so that you can finish at least one before you move on. The more you complete, the more points you're going to get, but you need to complete the whole thing, the graph and pasting it into the document and writing about it. And I'm going to show you about each of these things step by step, and you can continue to refer to the video as you do it. For our example, we're not going to use this data, which is your actual data. I made some example data that we're going to work with just for the example. All right, so this is a pretend class, period 10, and they investigated the bottle size and how it affects how far the bottle goes. They thought that if the bottle was smaller, then it would go farther because it's lighter. As you can see, here's their pretend data. In fact, the large bottle seems to have gone farther, but we also need to calculate the speed. I'll bet you would like if the computer would do it for you. Remember we talked about how when you mix letters and numbers, the computer can't do math? Here we kept our numbers by themselves with no letters, so the computer is going to do math for us. We're going to write what's called a formula. First thing we're going to do, we're going to click in the box where we want the answer to show up. See, I've clicked in the box where I want the speed for the large bottle, and you can see it's highlighted in blue. Now I'm going to start typing my formula. First, I'm going to type the equal sign. Right there, the computer knows it's about to do math. Then, remember that speed is distance divided by time. So I'm going to click the box with my distance. I'm not typing the number. I'm just choosing the box with the distance. And you can see that now its identifier B5 has shown up in the box where my answer will be. Then I'm going to do a slash for the divided sign. Remember, distance divided by time. And then I will click the box where my time is. And you can see that it's showed up now in the box where our answer will be in the color that matches the highlighting around the square. All right? That's all there is to it. We did this box divided by this box, remembering to put the equal sign first. Now you're going to press enter. Boom! The computer did our math for us. Isn't that awesome? All right? Now, the next thing that we're going to do, because I'll bet you would like if the computer would just do all your math for you without any more steps. There's a very easy way to do that. Again, I'm going to click the box with my answer. See this little blue square down here? When I put my mouse over it, it turns into a plus sign. That's important. That means that I can drag that box and I can copy the formula into as many boxes as I fill it with. Okay, so I'm going to hold my mouse with the plus sign and I'm going to drag it down. See the little dotted line around my new box? When I let go, it has copied the formula into that second box, and now it's doing the math with these two numbers. So just like that, we've very easily gotten the computer to do our math for us. Now here's something. We look at these numbers, they're really, really long decimals. It's not very neat. We are going to come up here to the tab that says Format, and we're going to choose Number. All right, and let's just choose, let's see. Let's just choose Number. There we go. So again, I'm going to show you how we did that because I was just sort of not paying attention. All right, so I highlighted both my boxes. If I'm going to do this from scratch, highlight my boxes. Then I'm going to come up here to the tab that says Format. I'm going to choose the first option, which is Number. And I've clicked this one called Number, and it only rounds it to the second decimal place. That makes a much neater number to look at. All right, so woohoo, go us. We have now calculated the speed. The computer did our math for us. Now it's time to make a graph of what we see here. I'm going to put my mouse over the bottle size. Holding the mouse button, I'm going to drag it to highlight my selection. And then you may have this little Insert Chart button. If you do, that's peachy keen. If you don't, here's how you get there. I'm going to come up here to the Insert tab, and way down here I'm going to choose Chart. And so the little Chart button or the Insert Chart is going to take us to the same place. All right? So we want a graph like this, okay? We want the column graph. Sometimes it's a bar, sometimes it's a column, but same difference, okay? We don't want it to look exactly like this, though. So let's see what our options are. We're going to come now to customization. Okay? Your title, you would want to type a new title, like maybe large and small bottles, maybe. You decide what the right title is. I'm not going to tell you. Okay? we're looking for, here we go. In the tab that says chart types, let's try this. You can do switch rows and columns. Now it's got your large and small together. You know what? That's difficult because these bars are so small. Let's stick with that. So we've got our distance together, our time together, and our speed together. Here's another useful thing. You're really going to like this part. We're going to go back to customization. This, I think, is new to Google Sheets. I'm really glad they added it. We're going to scroll down, and what we're looking for down here are data labels. It's at the very bottom. I had to scroll to the bottom for it. Data labels are great. We're going to choose value. See how now the number that represents the height of the bar is shown. When you go to write about your graph, you're going to be so glad that that's there, because otherwise you're not going to know what that bar means. Now we know what the bar means. Here's the other thing that you need to do. You need to go to axis labels. Oh, here we want axis horizontal. Does this really tell us about bottle size? No. We need to change, so we're here on axis horizontal. We need to change this from bottle size to maybe data collected, or we could leave it blank because it has built-in labels, distance, time, and speed. See, when we type that in, it changes it. What we also need is a label for this axis over here. So you would choose your left vertical, and you would decide what label to put on this axis. When you're all set, you have the title, the labels, the data labels, everything. You're going to choose Insert. And boom, there's your graph. We'll move it out of the way. So this is our first graph. Now we need to paste this graph into your Word document. So here's what we're going to do. It's highlighted right now. I'm going to right-side click with my mouse. On your Chromebook, that's a 2-finger click on the pad. Okay? We're going to choose, oh, we can't choose it. Okay. Oh, you know what we're going to do? My bad. We're going to use this drop-down button, and we're going to copy chart. So again, we clicked on the chart. You see the little drop-down button here in the corner, and we're going to choose it, and we're going to copy chart. Google Sheets has changed a little over the summer. All right, so we're going to copy chart, and then we're going to go to your Rockets paper. All right, remember, these are your instructions, so I surely hope you read them before you started watching the video. All right, so now I'm going to paste my graph. I'm going to right-side click and choose Paste, or if that's not going to work for you, remember, you can always go to Edit and Paste. Either way, you're going to paste in your graph. There is my graph. Now I need to write about the graph. All right, I need to summarize the purpose, the hypothesis, and the results of the test. This is going to be far easier than you might think, so don't go, OMG, all this typing, I think I'm going to freak out now. You're not going to freak out. You're mostly going to copy and paste. This is a time when it's okay, all right? We don't want to do extra work. We just want to put it together so it makes sense. So let's go back to our spreadsheet. Here's the question. They were trying to answer the question, what is the effect of the size of the bottle on how far the bottle goes? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to copy that. So I'm going to do Control-C for copy, or again, you go to Edit Copy. And now I'm going to come back to my document, and I'm going to do Control-V for paste, or right-side click and paste, or edit and paste. You want to paste it in there. All right? Now, let's just, you can't just copy it in. Let's add a few words. We're going to say, the question that period 10 was answering, or maybe investigating would be nicer. Use your own words, whatever. You're doing the work here. Was, and then we're going to put it in parentheses, and quotation marks rather, what is the effect of the size of the bottle on how far the bottle goes? Look, we just copied it in, and then we spiffed it up a little with our own wording. Now we need to add the hypothesis. So we're going to say, they thought that, to show, or their hypothesis was, or whatever suits you best, and I'm again going to right-side click and copy, Control-C, whatever suits you, and then we'll Control-V for paste. They thought that if the bottle, fix our punctuation, if the bottle is smaller, then it will go farther because it's lighter. Here's where your brain has to turn on and start working. Look at your graph. Did the light bottle go farther? No. The large bottle went farther, so we need to write about this. I expect at least 2 sentences about your data. It turns out that the large bottle went farther. Now, don't just tell me it went farther. I need numbers. actual numbers. That's what gets you the points, is using the actual numbers. So we're going to add a second sentence. The large bottle went, now here's where we decide that we're so happy we used those data labels. It went 68 feet. Our units should be in feet. Okay? The large bottle went 68 feet, and the small bottle only, see how we use that to make it sound like it's just no big deal? Went, looking again, data labels, thank you, 52 feet. All right, we could leave it at that. If you're feeling like you want to add a little something else, you're going to go back, you're going to talk about your speed, who was faster, all right, which also was your large bottle. But this right here, this paragraph, what is the effect of, they thought that if, and then 2 sentences about the data using actual numbers from the data, right here you will get full credit for this graph and this paragraph. All right, this is full credit. Now, I think that, unless I see things work out differently in class, I would like for you to do at least 2 classes worth of data for really full credit. So this would be a little less than full credit because it's only 1 class. 2 classes, all the credit. 3 or more classes, you're looking at extra credit. So you could really rack up the extra credit here if you get super fast at this graph and paragraph thing. And it's not that complex, so I think that you all can do it. The only other thing is, remember, if you do more than 1 class, look at step 6 here. At the beginning of your work, that means right here in front of this graph. So I'm going to make a little space in front of the graph. All right? In front of the graph, include a recommendation on how to get the bottle to go the farthest based on the findings of all the data sets you looked at. So I would start this sentence, the best way to get the bottle, to go the farthest would be to use the large bottle, and here's where you need to include information from the other data sets that you looked at. How to set the angle, how much to fill it with pressure, how much to fill it with water, and so on. Put the pieces together and make a recommendation about the absolute best way to get the bottle to go farthest. I just want to remind you, please do not write what I have written here because this is pretend data. We did not actually do the large and small bottles. It sadly didn't work. Maybe another day we'll find a small bottle that works. All right, so this is just to show you how. Please refer to this video as often as you need to help you get your graph and your paragraph spot on. All right, I look forward to seeing these. If you guys get stuck, raise your hand in class and let me know, okay? Thanks, great job.